Bullying isn't just a phase, it rewires your brain. It changes how you think, feel, and even how your body functions. But have you ever wondered why some people never fully heal from it? Or why bullying can still haunt someone decades later? Today, we're diving into the unseen scars of bullying, how it reshapes mental health, damages the body, and leaves a mark that lasts a lifetime. People like to think of bullying as just some awkward childhood rite of passage like bad haircuts or questionable fashion choices. But unlike that one summer where you thought frosted tips were a good idea, the effects of bullying don't just fade away with time. They burrow deep into the brain, mess with your nervous system, and even take a toll on your physical health. It's not just about getting shoved in a hallway or dealing with some keyboard warrior in your DMs. Bullying can actually rewire the brain, making anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder long-term struggles. The amygdala, the brain's fear center, goes into overdrive, making it hard to feel safe even years later, while the prefrontal cortex, which helps regulate emotions, can weaken, making stress management harder. And if that weren't enough, your body also gets in on the suffering. Chronic stress from bullying cranks up cortisol levels, which wrecks your immune system, screws up digestion, and makes headaches, muscle pain, and sleep problems a regular part of life. Beyond the psychological toll, bullying manifests in tangible physical health issues. The body interprets prolonged emotional distress as a threat, triggering the release of cortisol, the stress hormone. Elevated cortisol levels over time can wreak havoc on the immune system, making victims more susceptible to infections, digestive problems, and chronic inflammation. Headaches, stomach aches, muscle pain, and sleep disturbances become common symptoms, often misattributed to unrelated causes. In some cases, victims develop conditions such as irritable bowel syndrome or chronic fatigue syndrome, both of which have been linked to prolonged stress exposure. And then there's cyberbullying, the gift that keeps on giving. Nightmares. Unlike old-school bullying, which at least had an off switch when school let out, cyberbullying follows you home. It's there when you wake up, there when you try to sleep, and there when you're just minding your business, scrolling through dog videos. And speaking of sleep, bullying messes with that too. Stress and anxiety can lead to insomnia, which then fuels more anxiety, and suddenly you're stuck in an endless cycle of exhaustion and overthinking every embarrassing thing you've ever done since third grade. For children and adolescents, bullying occurs at a critical stage of brain development, amplifying its long-term effects. Research suggests that prolonged exposure to stress during this time can alter brain structure, potentially leading to a greater risk of mental illness in adulthood. Neural pathways associated with self-esteem and resilience may be weakened, making it more difficult for individuals to recover from emotional setbacks. The impact of bullying on neurodevelopment may also contribute to difficulties in concentration, memory, and academic performance, further shaping the trajectory of a victim's life. The mental toll of bullying doesn't stop at stress and anxiety. It's also linked to self-harm and, in extreme cases, suicide. When someone is constantly made to feel worthless, that pain can turn inward. Victims often resort to unhealthy coping mechanisms, and studies show a strong connection between bullying and self-destructive behaviors. But let's not forget that bullies themselves don't get off scot-free. Research shows that people who bully others are more likely to develop aggression issues, substance abuse problems, and even criminal behaviors later in life. Basically, no one wins here. Even years later, bullying shapes how people navigate the world. Trust issues, fear of rejection, and self-sabotage can follow victims into adulthood, affecting relationships, careers, and overall happiness. Some even develop disordered eating habits as a way to regain control over their bodies after being ridiculed for their appearance. The damage is deep, but it's not permanent. Healing is possible. Therapy, especially cognitive behavioral therapy, strong support systems, and open conversations can help victims rebuild their confidence and reclaim their lives. And of course, prevention is key. Schools, workplaces, and communities need to foster environments where kindness isn't just a cheesy poster on the wall. It's actually practiced. Bullying isn't just kids being kids. It's a public health crisis with long-term consequences. But the good news? With awareness and the right support, people can heal, break the cycle, and take back their power. I'll leave you to discuss in the comments. Do you think bullying is taken seriously enough, or is it still brushed off as not a big deal? You can support us by subscribing if you haven't already. Take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, and I'll catch you soon in another video.